Good morning, Kitchen Witches. Today is Sunday, July 5th, and this is your tarot and menu inspiration for the day. I'm Chef Lisa, editor-in-chief of A Chef's Grimoire magazine. We're going to pick one card, and that is going to be all we need to know. Welcome if you've not joined us before. A Chef's Grimoire is a lovely magazine, quarterly. I put it out. The next issue is due out July 14th, by the way. So if you're interested, all the information is in the show notes. All right, what is our card for today, July 5th? Ready? Let's see what we've got. Oh, hello. Oh. It's the Seven of Pentacles. Okay, minor arcana, 7. The 7th major arcana in the deck is the Chariot. So interesting, very interesting. It's kind of, if you put them side by side, you'd say, it's kind of conflicting, because the Chariot, one would think, is all about moving forward, and it is, but then you look at this card, and it looks like they're in a rest period, right? What's all that about? So, Chariot is an interesting major arcana because it is depicted as a charioteer in a chariot with two either horses, or in a Rider-Waite-Smith deck, it's sphinxes that look like they're pulling the chariot. But at closer inspection, the sphinxes are laying down. They're not standing up, ready to go. The reins are not attached. And the chariot itself is made of stone. The wheels, sometimes, in the older decks, like the Marseille deck, the wheels are on their sides. They're not even facing forward to move. So what does that mean? Well, it means that we are in a motivated, facing forward state, but it's very, it's internal. It's not external. So it's not about physical motion, it's about emotional and thought-provoking motion. So we're manifesting, putting the seeds together, tapping into the higher realms, as well as bringing ourselves to a state where we are ready then to move on, right? So we think about everything we've done to that moment, then move on. So it is kind of a rest before we take the first step. And interestingly enough, the Chariot, number 7, is the last card in the first line of the major arcana. There's 3 lines. So it's the last card before we make the leap into the next set of 7 cards, right? Which is all about subconscious, not the conscious state we're already in. So now we bring it into the realm of the minor arcana. And we have this individual standing there. They've done a lot of work. It's their garden, and they've tilled the soil, they've reaped what they've sown, and now they're in a waiting period, right? They're waiting for it to come to fruition so that they can harvest. So knowing the Chariot energy is underneath or holding this card, Pentacles are all about tangibility, right? So it's all the things that we think about, right? So think of a child. This is probably a really bad example, but think of a child, right? And you ask them, what do you want to be when you grow up? And they say, oh, I want to be a dentist, paleontologist. Like they mesh these two very strange careers together. And you know what? Great, they probably can do that. Who knows, right? When they get to be our age, anything goes, right? But the thing is that they already have the thoughts. They know what they want to do. Children are very confident until they're not. So they know what they want to do. So now they go through life and they plant those seeds. Maybe they course correct and they don't want to be a paleontologist anymore, but they still want to be a dentist. Who knows, right? Or maybe vice versa. But the thing is that they're planting the seeds. It's slow, steady motion, building what you can then harvest later. Yes, so it's nothing fast. Pentacles are the slowest suit in the tarot deck. So if you do a spread, you get a lot of pentacles. That's good because it's building prosperity in whatever way, shape, or form prosperous is meant for you, right? It could be money, it could be relationships, it could be things that you can touch, hold, and feel, right? And any way that you feel prosperous and what you gather and to yourself or to your loved ones, that is what you're cultivating, yeah? Being a minor arcana, it's a fleeting moment. So this is just a pause. It's not a full-on break. It's just a pause to reflect the hard work you've done to get where you are right now. So that's what this card means. It's just taking a little pause, looking at all the things you've cultivated to this point. And hopefully that makes you feel really good. And if it doesn't, maybe we need to start picking away at the pile or adding new things to the pile to form it to where you want it to be, right? So if we bring the Seven of Pentacles into the kitchen, I'm thinking we want to work low and slow because it's all building on itself. Yeah. So for breakfast, I'm thinking we do slow cooked eggs. You can do them in a crock pot. You can cook eggs in the crock pot. Did you know that? You can. So crock pot, or you could do a sous vide, but I'm holding back on the sous vide until dinner because that's where it's really going to shine. You can do either. So you take your eggs. If you want to make a whole dozen, pop them in your crock pot if they fit. They can stack on top of each other, no problem. Turn your crock pot on low, and you can add a little water just if you wish. It doesn't matter because they're going to cook in their shell, so it really doesn't matter. And then about 2 hours later from low, you will have a cooked egg, right? Low and slow. So you have the time, it's Sunday. So yeah, get them going and see how they turn out. I bet you'll be impressed. A low and slow egg. The other way to do them is, if you wish, you can do them, as I said, in a sous vide, but we're going to work that into dinner. But I'm not going to bypass lunch because it's important. So lunch, we're going to do char siu bao buns. Have you ever done these before? If you've gone to Chinatown, now I live, by train about 1 hour and 20 minutes from middle of Manhattan. And so when I go into Manhattan, I love to go to Chinatown, which is near Canal Street. And the thing I beeline to are the bao buns, right? They come steamed, but they also come baked. I prefer the baked ones, but they're filled, it's a bun that's filled with sweet meat. So it's a ton of sugar, but it's delicious. And it's meat inside this really soft, fluffy bun. Delicious. And you can eat them any time of day. They're like the best snack ever. So we're going to make them from scratch. So look up a recipe. The bao bun itself is really easy. I'm pretty sure it's tapioca flour that you use or white rice flour to make it. So it's not an all-purpose flour, I think. Look it up. They're easy enough to make. And then the meat takes time, right? So the meat is going to take 2 days, give or take. Yeah, you got to put work and effort into this. The bun's easy. The meat itself, a little more challenging. Not so much. I mean, it's easy. It just takes time. right? So you want to marinate the meat, right? It's usually pork, and you're going to marinate it, and then you're going to cook it slow, and then you're going to put it under the broiler to get charred. That's where the char comes into the name, char siu. And then you're going to stuff it into the buns, and then you're going to either steam them in a bamboo steamer or a wok with a rack, or you can bake them like I like them. Char siu bao buns. Delicious. Worth the wait. For dinner, I'm thinking sous vide prime rib. So get yourself a beautiful piece of prime rib. We're going to put it into a Krylon bag. Get your sous vide working. For those of you that don't know what sous vide is, it looks like the motor part of an immersion blender. And it gets immersed into a vat of water. And you set its temperature, and it agitates the water and brings the water up to that temperature that you set. So it's a continuous, steady temperature of whatever you set it to be. So for prime rib, you want it medium rare. So that's going to be 120 degrees to 125 degrees. Set your sous vide for that. Get a Krylon bag, put your meat into it, and submerge it into the water. Make sure that when you submerge the bag into the water, there's no air left, because if there's air, the meat is going to float to the top, and that's really bad, because that'll be botulism, right? So you want to make sure that the meat is always submerged. If you didn't get all the air out of your bag, get something heavy to put on top of it that doesn't interrupt the sous vide stick motor, right? Doesn't get caught or suppress the motor in any way, but does keep the meat under the water. And the water is a gentle way of cooking the meat to the temperature you want it to be. Yes. Then when the prime rib comes out after 6 hours, you are going to either sear it on either side to get a little char on it, make it look lovely. You can eat it as is, fine. But presentation-wise, you may want a little crust on the outside. So you can either do that on a stovetop grill or in the broiler. But it's only in there a minute or two, just to get a crisp crust, because you don't want it cooking your beautifully prepared medium rare prime rib. Serve that with a baked potato, a vegetable of whatever kind that's quick and easy to do, but the patience comes in the sous vide of the prime rib for 6 whole hours. Yes. It's beautiful, right? We've got low and slow cooking with the 7 of Pentacles. And it's delicious meals, right? Worth the wait. So, as always, nourish yourself. Nourish all those around you with your kitchen magic. I'll see you tomorrow.